is a lot of new stuff. Wow. There's Angela.
Angela Merkel.
And look here to the left. The Prime Minister on the left there with the guns and wagons, like the Wild West. It's funny. All right, well, beautiful palaces that can be visited here. We have 2 royal palaces in the area, but of course we are only going to visit one indeed, to be built by the Muslims when they lived here since the 8th century. So then the area was conquered by the first king of Portugal on the same year that Lisbon was taken, 1147. And of course the king, he decided to occupy that old small palace or Alcazar, and he decided to transform it into a chase pavilion.
Now here we are in Sintra, founded by the Muslims, and then there were Jews here, and then Christians. These are typical ceramics in Portugal from the 19th century. So the rooster is a symbol of good luck. So you see lots of rooster things everywhere. But these things in the store are all made from cork. And we're going to go into the palace here in a few minutes. Portugal has been a republic since 1910. But members of the aristocracy still use their titles, and a lot of them live here in Sintra. The palace at Sintra was first mentioned by an Arab geographer in the 10th century and was a residence of the Arab governors. After the 12th century and for almost 8 centuries, it became the residence of the Portuguese royal family. Headed up a spiral staircase. Well, up the spiral staircase, here we are. This is known as the Swan Hall. The ceiling is covered with swans. Those are boars' heads.
It is the biggest of the palace, and it belongs to the former Alcazar, remember? But remember that I told you that many kings of Portugal, they enjoy the place. So they were coming to this area and they decided to add a room and then add another room and so on. But the palace knew her best moment, so to say, when we had Philippa of Lancaster living here together with the husband John the First. Why? Because Philippa was an English lady, and Sintra is a public place. So it remembers a lot the English royalism. It's like she enjoyed so much living here. So of course,
her son was
John,
Henry the Navigator.
Several children. Remember Edward that became a king, Ferdinand that became a saint, Henry that became a navigator, then they had Peter, they had John, and they had a daughter, Isabel, or Elizabeth if you want to translate. And this Isabel, well, she was, how do you say, daddy's daughter?
This was the dining room, nice fireplace. The 2 swans that her father gave her came out here and swam in this little pond that certainly had more water than it does now.
It is called the Magpie Room. This space was also belonged also to the former Alcazar. And when John the First lived here, he decided to transform the place into his bedroom. You know that. As I told you, this palace has some of the oldest glaze tiles of Portugal. These ones that we have on this wall, they were made in Seville, okay, by the Muslims when Seville still had Muslims living there. These are called the Gothic glaze tiles. Why? Because they used to draw. They didn't know how to paint without mixing colors at the time. So they used to draw first what they wanted with magnesium. Okay? Then they will fill the spaces inside with the color that they wished, and then it would go to the oven. And when it goes to the oven, the magnesium disappears. Okay? If you look, it seems like it had ropes around making the drawings. Belong to the king that is represented on that portrait, King Sebastian. As you can see, Sebastian was in fact a young boy. When he went to the throne, he was 15. 15 palace when he ordered the poet Camões to come to the palace and to read the poem, the Lusíada, telling everything about the discovery, saying how the Portuguese were great, starting the discoveries by the northern part of Africa, spreading the Catholic faith and all that. He was dreaming and dreaming, and he thought, well, I'm going to do the same again at the end of the 16th century. Bad idea. He gathered an army, he went again to the northern part of Africa, he went to Alcácer Quibir, and on his first battle he was killed.
This is a galleon room that looks like a ship's hull upside down.
He makes a connection between the old palace and the new area that we're going to visit. You see the columns are made of turtle shell. But the most curious thing of it is that the purpose of this furniture is not to keep values, but to keep documents. In fact, if we pull out one of the drawers, inside we will have another drawer, okay? A secret one. So, if we had some very secret documents, we would hide them inside that second drawer.
Those are the secret doors. It's called a secretary or a secretary. This is a stunning room. Gorgeous mosaics or tiles with scenes, and then look at the ceiling.
Manuel I decided to add this room to the palace. Okay? Now Manuel installed inside a building. He wanted to pay an homage to the 72 noble families, that helped the king to stay in the throne. Remember?
And this is the Chinese room.
Okay. Or prison room, if you prefer, because we had King Peter, that was not the king yet. He was the brother of Alphonse. Alphonse was the king, but he was a kind of mad person. He married to a beautiful lady, and when Peter saw that beautiful lady, Maria Francisca, he fell in love. So he decided to imprison the brother, marry the sister-in-law, and keep Alphonse first in the Azores Island and then here for 9 years. Then he died. In fact, in Portugal, in some part of Portugal, we have some olive trees that have more than a millennium. It is the representation of God having the world in his hand.
So this fountain is in the middle of the dining room, so you can wash your hands where you're sitting on the floor and eating around the edge. King of Castile offered a piece of land to a good lawyer and came from France. So we have the fleur-de-lis on this tile. Here we are in the kitchen. Fireplace. And this is a chimney. These are spits. She just said that Leonardo da Vinci invented napkins. It's kind of a warming oven. Look at this room. Look at this chandelier. It's from Murano, Italy. We're 1 hour in the castle, and there are a lot of more people out here now. This is the exterior of the castle. There's a chimney that takes the smoke out of the kitchen. A little wine store. Stu's buying a t-shirt, but I just noticed that through the floor you can see their tasting room and maybe 2 stories of wine on the shelves. Now there's a horse, and then there's this mini vehicle that you can rent for sightseeing.